Welcome to the Macoya Branch of the Caribbean Industrial Research Institute. My name is Shirley Shepherd. I'm the Executive Manager, Engineering Services. Under the Executive Manager, Engineering Services, there are 6 labs which I manage on a daily basis. Of these 6 labs, there are the Civil Engineering labs, the Metallurgy lab, the Air Quality Management labs, the Occupational Hygiene lab, and also at the head office, which is in UE, allocated at UE, I have the Effluent Management Services lab and the Calibrations lab. At this juncture, we at CARIRI do work or service providers in Trinidad and Tobago, in the Caribbean, and extended to the Latin American industries. CARIRI is a member of WAITRO, who is a group of over 100 labs, universities, and schools that does innovation and technology and aligns themselves to the Sustainable Developmental Goals. Okay? So now we'll take you onto the labs to show you exactly what we do at this area here in Macoya.
Greetings and welcome to In-Depth. I'm Dike Rostant. We are here at the Caribbean Industrial Research Institute, or CARIRI, in Macoya, and we are looking at the civil / the construction side of things. So we are going to be speaking with the lab manager and civil engineer, Lisa Ramuta. Thank you for taking the time, Ms. Ramuta. Tell me what happens in the lab here. Thank you.
Well, thank you for joining us. So this is the Industrial Materials Lab, and what we offer is quality assurance and quality control testing and support for anything that you're looking at construction-wise. So all of your material inputs to construction, whether it's your soil, aggregate, blocks, concrete, asphalt, you name it, we help you to have confidence in those materials in your projects.
How important is quality? And I think you're full toast with the lag it out the park, but in terms of, is it a matter of saying, okay, well, they have bulk soil, so we could get that from there, or these persons selling these inputs cheaply, so we could get them? How important is quality from the start of a project?
Very important. So think about it this way. Where we are in Trinidad and Tobago, we're located in a zone that is susceptible to earthquakes. We're susceptible to hurricanes. So all of our designs for our construction, our structures, our infrastructure has to be done taking those things into consideration. So that means that all of the inputs need to be quality inputs because we need them to be resilient. We need those materials, we need the infrastructure to stand up in the event of emergencies. So your roadways, your emergency shelters, your hospitals, these things need to be up and running in the event of natural disasters. And so when you look at the material inputs, it's better then to make sure that what you're putting into your construction from the start is meeting your requirements, rather than at the back end when the building is already constructed and then you're not sure what is in it. Think about it like making a cake. You're not going to put an egg into the batter and then wonder if it was spoiled.
And with that, who is it that reaches out to the lab to get things tested? Is it a matter of the persons, like a contractor who wants to build, or is it the manufacturer of products that would want to say, okay, well, this product has been tested by CARIRI and they've given it this sort of rating? Who approaches you to test products?
Well, actually, it's a wide range. The contractors who are doing the building, the manufacturers, the end users as well. So we get from the people who are the clients to the contractors, the homeowners, the man off the streets coming to us for testing.
And is there something that we may not get or we may not find out just saying, okay, well, yes, we're at the lab? What is that thing that people really don't know about it, the best kept secret about the lab?
The best kept secret. We can help you from the start of your project. We can be on site with you when you're doing your construction. when people hear that CARIRI is on site, you see a different level of activity, a different level of professionalism. And I want our clients to know that, our potential clients to know that we can be there from the start of your project to make sure it goes the way you need it to go.
All right, and with that, we want to thank you so much, Lisa Ramuta, Lab Manager and Civil Engineer. We continue. We'll be speaking with Deputy Lab Manager and Civil Engineer Neil Hassim when we return. So Lab Manager Lisa Ramuta got the ball rolling. We are continuing the conversation with the Deputy Lab Manager and a Civil Engineer in his own right, Neil Hassim. Mr. Hassim, thank you for the time, but what are some of the tests that we go about doing in this space?
Okay, thank you for being here as well. Some of the tests that we conduct would be compressive strength on the concrete samples, whether it be blocks, concrete cylinders, concrete cubes, as well as water absorption on of these samples. In terms of aggregates, we have sieve analysis, modified proctors, CBR. We also do slip resistant testing of tiles, right? Concrete coring as well for compressive strength.
And every time you give my acronym, you had to spell it out for me. So CBR as well?
California bearing ratio.
And what are some of those? Actually wanted to ask about local parameters, but do you find that things are a little differently tested or weighted or measured outside? Because I think you also do testing for the region, right?
Well, normally, regionally, we would do like concrete sampling, where it's concrete core extraction for compressive strength. And in terms of measuring the methods locally and regionally, well, we all both follow the ASTM test methods and the British standards, so all testing will be done according to those methods.
All right, and what are some of the ways that you go about testing? Because saying you're testing is one thing, but actually testing, what are some of the things that you would do?
Well, for instance, for the blocks, we would we do test on the 4-inch, 6-inch, and 8-inch concrete blocks, right? So we would have to do end preparation for the samples, dimensional checks, do the water absorption, which entails soaking in water for 24 hours and then putting it in our oven for 24 hours and getting the difference in weight to work out the saturation for it. Saturation is important because it determines the ability of the block to bond with the mortar and also affects the strength of the block.
So if I am making blocks, I have some name and I decide, okay, well, I need to get the certification from CARIRI, because when CARIRI say it good, it good. What kind of timeline does that take? So I'll drop off my samples, and around how long does it take?
Well, usually 3 to 4 weeks, because of the nature of the testing. It have the measuring, then you have the end prep, then the crushing of the blocks for the compression strength part, and then for the absorption, it usually take about 3 to 4 days for the whole procedure to finish, from initial weighing to the soaking in the tank as well as in the oven drying.
All right, and we want to thank you very much, Mr. Hassim. Neil Hassim, Deputy Lab Manager and Civil Engineer. And I think we're going to get to actually see a machine in use momentarily, because we're going to be speaking with Lab Technician 1, Mr. Delroy John. Stay with us. And we are here with the man Lab Technician 1, Delroy John, going to talk about the process of actually testing something. So, Mr. John, thank you very much. How you do, sir?
Yeah, you're doing very well. Very well today.
No, we're going to look at what is done in this machine in just a bit, but what is the name of it and what do you test in it?
Oh, well, this machine, what we have here is the compression testing machine. And what we just do with it, we just do compressive strength testing for blocks, concrete cylinders, and also concrete cubes. So these are the three basic samples in which we do testing with the compression machine.
Okay, and those concrete cubes are different to core samples?
Yes, they are. The concrete cubes are molded concrete, just like our cube, right? And we test them without doing any end preparation or anything on them, right? Those are tests towards the BS standard, right? So when we get the cubes from the client, we then put them into the compression machine after we do all the measuring and so forth. Right?
All right, and what was that end preparation? Because I heard more than one
Oh,
person.
the M preparation, yes, the M preparation, that is like for the concrete cylinders. We just use the capping, which is a gypsum capping, and we just put the gypsum into some molds, and then mold it onto the concrete cylinders. And when we do that, then we'll be able to put it in the machine and have it tested.
All right, so we're going and check out some testing now, so we're getting ready for that.
All right, this is the concrete sample we are about to test. Right, as you can see, it is a concrete cylinder, and this is a gypsum surface which we put to give a smooth surface, so when it goes into the compression machine, we do not experience point loading.
And so that is literally the each end preparation that you were talking about with the end preparation.
Right. Yeah, so this is also facilitate perpendicularity, so that it will be, the load will be applied evenly throughout the sample.
So you don't have any shear forces and no bother.
Right, point loading. We just have shear forces. When it crack, more
Okay.
like the point loading.
All right, so let's see how it happens then.
Okay. About that.
You do your thing, you do your thing. Yeah, nice position.
Oh.
That's how you be.
You do your thing, you do your thing, you do your thing.
So you could see the fracture lines. Yes, so right now what we are witnessing is a concrete sample which has already been tested, and you could see that by the failure lines which is being displayed right here on the sample, right? So once the sample is failed, the machine registered a load, a corresponding load, to determine the strength of this particular sample. So I already tested the sample, and right now I'm just doing the reporting, in which I will work out the stress of the particular sample, and that will complete the testing on this particular sample.
Well, a wise man once told me it's better for people to invite you back than to ask you to leave. So there are so many more things that we could be finding out. We didn't do the IFTR, well, no, FTIR rather, and a few other tests, but at the same time, there's so much to be done, so much to be offered by CARIRI. We want to thank the group for actually welcoming us into their space and giving us an idea of some of the services they offer to us here in Trinidad and Tobago, as well as the region. And on behalf of the entire crew from TTT, this has been In Depth with me, Dike Rostant. Thank you so much for joining us.